Yo, what's the deal? It's your boy LiLSilver. Um, bring y'all with my uptake um, in response to Real Wrestling Podcast regarding Impact Wrestling because I will tell you what they need to improve and what they must improve to get back to their top like they once was. Without further ado, I'm fist to play a video. Give me a couple of moments. Okay, and this is brought to you by those guys at Fight Game Media. Make sure you type in Fight Game Media. And these guys, another podcast, tells it like it is, just like the Impact Lounge. Um, without further ado, hold on, bear with me. Let's get it. And I'm supposed to pray it right now.
Hey now, it's Brace for Impact, and I'm your host, Mike Gilbert, and I'm joined as always by JD by God Oliva. How you doing, JD?
I need to re-edit the video. I figured it out this time when I'm watching it. The screen goes black, and what I really should do is I should make that sound go down, and I keep the image going, and then we can kick over. Because this is driving me nuts that we have this big hard outro, and we're like, hey, welcome to the show. And I need that's on me. I have to fix that as the video professional. So I'm frustrated with that, but not frustrated. This is the second time we've recorded the show tonight because we both made that mistake.
We part of the show is making fun of JD producing, but I decided to go ahead and try my hand at it because I have to do it the next couple of weeks, and I need to get a little bit more practice. And I screwed up on Friday when I did my Against All Odds show, so I'm like, nope. Whenever I screw up, I need to do it more. That's my motto. So if I suck at something, I need to keep doing it until I'm good at it.
Meathead. Meathead syndrome.
Yeah,
love it.
Yes. Well, because I screwed up on the Against All Odds one, I'm like, let me produce for the next few weeks, and you're out for a couple of weeks because you got the national championships practice going. So it's going to be all me the next 2 weeks, but you're here this week, and I want to go ahead and start the show off. Last week we forgot to cover what we were going to talk about with Tasha Steelz, and that was going to be saved for the Patreon. We just never got there, so I want to start off hot, talking a little bit of Tasha Steelz talk. Slammiversary, it's no secret that during the Queen of the Mountain match, she was pinned 3 times and then ended up losing her title, and then she was also pinned again against Jordan Grace this past Friday at Against All Odds. And there's been some rumors, man, that she's AEW bound. What say you, JD? What are you thinking here?
She's gone.
Yep.
Like, and I know there's people that are upset.
I got a response with that. Anthem Sports Entertainment. What the heck are y'all doing? You cannot lose Tasha Steelz to AEW. Repeating. You cannot lose Tasha Steelz to AEW. I don't know what's the relationship with you guys and Tasha Steelz Impact, but fix it and fix it fast because this is a do-or-die moment for all wrestling companies in the wrestling industry. WWE, AEW, New Japan, Impact Wrestling. 3 of the major wrestling companies that actually is on television. You can't lose no stars. It's bad enough you lost W. Morrissey. And you lost Willie Mack, which was a homegrown Impact Wrestling star. You can't lose Tasha Steelz, okay? Because I tell you what's gonna happen. Tasha Steelz is gonna go over to AEW, right? And AEW so-called has a lot of money than Impact, which that's a lie because Anthem Sports Entertainment is a billion-dollar company that owns Impact Wrestling. They're not broke. They can afford anybody with ease. Um, but yeah, again, what I'm going to say, she's gonna go over there, probably reunite with her former tag team partner, Kiera Hogan and Tasha Steelz. They're gonna form Fire and Flavor. They're gonna dominate the women's division, probably win the AEW women's tag team titles. They're gonna talk about they are former Impact. Well, they probably won't even mention Impact Wrestling because Impact Wrestling acting like they are a developmental company. They won't mention the fact if they do win the AEW women's tag team titles. It's gonna be they're gonna be hot for a while. You know, and then months we're gonna see what months pass, and then Tasha Steelz is gonna be back in catering. Yeah, she'll be making a lot more money, but Anthem needs to pay their stars what they worth. Okay, and they need to patch this relationship up. Tasha Steelz, at Impact Wrestling, Anthem Sports Entertainment. They must be on bad terms. I don't know what's going on, but pay the girl what she's worth, and let her be who she is. Let her be a great star, cause she's a great talent and an asset that Impact Wrestling must not lose. Okay, I want Impact to shock everybody into come up with a great contract or whatever, and locking Tasha Steelz down so she doesn't leave. Okay, and I'm gonna let you get back into what they gonna say about the situation.
That about that because we're Impact fans. We want to see, especially people that made their start with Impact, kind of stick around. But the reality of the matter is, she was probably signed to a very cheap deal, right? And
Yeah.
now she's got a bit of a name, and that
I have to cut them off with that cheap deal. Anthem Sports Entertainment, what the heck are y'all doing? You're acting like you can't give Impact the resources, okay, to sign people to big money contract. You signed the Good Brothers, okay? The Good Brothers are not cheap. You found that money somehow. Try to find money for these other talents that y'all can keep, because you can't afford to lose no talent. You know what happened to RH? Did the same thing. Net talent go. Try to reinvent themselves. That didn't work. Sold to AEW. Did the same thing. WCW and ECW did with WWE. They sold to WWE. All their talent got into WWE. Fix this, Impact. Fix this, Anthem Sports Entertainment. You guys can't lose no talent, okay? You gotta gain talent, okay? Kenny, Kenny, Killer Kenny. She's a great talent. Looking forward to seeing what she could do in the Impact Wrestling ring. But you gotta keep your current talent. Don't let them get away.
that helps your bidding power, right? Your bargaining power, I should say. So I could see her leaving. Like AEW's got this whole baddie search thing going on. They got Layla Gray as a quote unquote interim baddie. Her and Kira have that relationship. Like, I don't see why she would. I don't see her staying. I don't. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I think that she's out the door. I would love for her to resign and stick with Impact. I'd like for Impact to be able to meet the offer that she might be getting elsewhere.
They could. That's possible.
They could. So, you know,
Heck yeah, they could. Anthem Sports Entertainment is a billion-dollar corporation. They can give Impact unlimited amounts of money to keep Tasha Steels and match that offer or exceed that offer. They own Access TV. Make it happen, and don't lose Tasha Steels. Because Anthem Sports Entertainment give Impact unlimited amounts of money to keep her. You freaking signed the Good Brothers, and they ain't cheap.
There are two things that are more important than anything else in the world when it comes to pro wrestling, or if you're a wrestler. It's you like big money and you like big crowds. Right now, Impact probably can only offer you one of those things, and when you're lower on the card, they're probably not offering you either. Uh,
Like I said before in the last couple of videos, last few videos, hundreds turn into thousands. Thousands turn into millions. It's got to be more people like me, more people like Fight Game Media podcast, more people like Lewis Carson of Alliance Pro Network and Impact of the Impact Lounge with TW and BQ speaking out in order for Impact to get into those big arenas like they used to. When Anthem Sports Entertainment, like I said many times before, when they first bought them, it didn't look like it does now. It was in big arenas. They had a six-sided ring still. They had a professional announce. I liked the way they had that announce table. It was real good. It looked and sound real nice. You could see the fans all over the place. That's why I'm trying to get them back to like what they used to be when Anthem Sports Entertainment first bought them. Anthem Sports Entertainment had to let them have unlimited amounts of money back then. And then 2018, 2019 came. This was way before the pandemic set in. They had them in small arenas. Why? Why, Anthem? Why? Impact Wrestling is a legendary company. They used to be freaking TNA for crying out loud. They used to be the second largest wrestling company in North America. Now, in my view, they're number three in North America because they are all on television. How you get from number two to number three? You just let AEW come out of nowhere in the fall of 2019, which they haven't even been around like y'all have for 20 years. Just snatch our spot away. You don't advertise Impact Wrestling Anthem. You don't show commercials during Monday Night Raw, NXT, AEW, or SmackDown. At least show some commercials. You can pay them. You can afford. You could air this on ESPN on the sports channel. There's got to be some wrestling fans on there, and they can say, "Oh, Impact Wrestling." Just be creative, like Impact Wrestling, formerly known as TNA, is back on Thursday night. Yeah, and then advertise live events. Show commercials like that. But you got to do better, okay? Get into some big arenas, cause I mean, the last arena y'all was in Center Stage in Atlanta, not bad. I like the way the setting. I like the way they had the announce table. For once, they didn't have the announce table in the corner of the ring. It was in a nice setting. Y'all gotta fix that, man. For real, we gotta get into some big arenas.
But AEW right now, because of the position they're in and the popularity that they have, they can offer you both right away. Even if you're a lower tier wrestler, they can afford to take a chance on someone like Natasha Steeles that now has a little bit of a name and has developed some good character work. They could bring her in and they could probably pay her more than Impact would pay her at the level.
Cut off right there. Yeah, you get paid more money. But who in the heck wants to go to a company where you can only be seen for, I say, a few months or maybe longer? It depends how they want you to be in their company. Cause you won't have free career reign. That's for darn sure. And it's very seldom that you keep your same gimmick. They're like WWE. This is WWE 2.0 on steroids. So the thing, because even when Impact Wrestling was TNA Impact, they counted free career reign. Even the major even the major stars they was bringing in, and they homegrown talent, they gave them free career reign back then. So it's beyond me, I guess, because of the money wise, more money. But Anthem can give Impact Wrestling unlimited amounts of money, so they can pay their talent what they worth. I mean, they signed the Good Brothers, like I said before, and the Good Brothers ain't cheap.
She's at an Impact.
I mean, that's Kira, right?
Yeah.
Kira's making more on a Tier Zero AEW deal, and now she's playing before a million people on TV as opposed to being an Impact. Like that's. I mean, like you got to.
Okay, my phone. I said before, Impact Wrestling is on Access TV. Access TV can get access in North America. Access TV can be reached in over 50 million homes. 50 million people can get Access TV. At least 1 or 2 million people should be watching Access. You may get Access TV and don't even know it in your cable package. Then, if you can't get Access TV on your regular television package, Access TV has an app. Download that app in Google or Apple Play Store. And if you have a whichever cable service you have, Xfinity, AT&T, and they have an app, download that app like I did before. I couldn't get Access TV on my regular television set. I had to look at Impact Wrestling for a while on the app. I, I, I pulled it up, looked at it on the computer. I mean, if I want to look at it on my cell phone, which I could did that too, but since I have a laptop or a computer, all you gotta do, you got a cable, um, got cable. You can just log in with your email, your password, and you're set. You could watch Access TV. But Access TV should be getting at least 1 or 2 million viewership, and that way they could be coming into small arenas. They know that their ratings is doing good, and they could start signing these top tier talent when they contracts are up in WWE and AEW. Because I tell you this, talent is not gonna be attracted to Impact if they remain these small arenas and they get less viewership than the other wrestling companies. This is a do or die moment, and I ain't playing. Anthem Sports Entertainment give Impact Wrestling unlimited amounts of money. Treat them like the billion-dollar company like they are. Cause you guys own Impact Wrestling, and Impact ain't broke. They are far from broke. They can afford any talent with ease. Just like it's a free agent currently available. Sasha Banks, which if she go to Impact, she gonna be going by Mercedes. Give her any offer y'all can come up with. Pay her what she's worth. Give her free career reign. She would be like one of the top Impact knockouts. Whenever if she decides to come to Impact and debut, she'll be one of the top knockouts, and that's gonna be bringing in more revenue, more fans. Because Sasha is a lot of Sasha Banks fans, that's for sure. And wherever Sasha Banks goes, those fans will land, guaranteed.
I understand kind of what Impact is when they're finding these young people. They're giving them their start. But when you give
Hmm.
people their start, they're not going to stick with you because they're going to make a name, and a lot of times they're going to move on. They're going to go.
Yeah.
It's rare you can find a Josh Alexander, a guy you kind of give a break to, and he becomes a foundational player. Like that, just it doesn't.
Ace Austin, yeah,
Ace
yeah,
Austin, and
yep,
Ace was in other places too. Like I always say, I think of Ace as an MLW guy before I think of him as an Impact guy because that's where I discovered him. But he's made his home at Impact, which makes sense. With Tasha, I mean, quite frankly, she's better than anybody in 2.0,
oh,
right? I
by
mean,
far, yeah.
like all of them there, she's better than all of them, and she's 25, something like that. Like she's not old. Like she could easily transition into 2.0 and do very well there too. I don't know if that's off the table for them. Like, God, she's better than all those girls. So
Yeah, yeah.
I
Well,
don't.
with the exception of Roxanne, I think.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah,
Roxanne, Rexy, whatever. She's an exception to the rule down there. I
right.
forgot about Roxy, but the rest of them are not great. Mandy Rose has been with the company since 2015, and she's decent at best.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
so I would be surprised if she sticks around.
Yeah, I'll be surprised. I'll be happy if she sticks around because I've enjoyed covering her work here at Impact. But look, Impact is a place where kind of folks they start here and then they develop a little bit, then they move on. Or whenever you're leaving one of the bigger companies, Impact is a good place for you to rebuild your career and stuff like that. And then of course, look, you got your core. You got Moose, Eddie Edwards, Jordan Grace. You got talent Josh Alexander, now Ace.
Yes, they got those people. Yes, but it's not good enough. They need more top talent for these guys to wrestle. Okay, I still I know that Eddie Edwards is going to be up next. One of the people going to be up next to face Josh Alexander for the title, but after Josh Alexander ran through half of the roster, or most of the roster, what's left for him? You gotta sign major talent. If a major talent comes available, probably in a couple months or next year, Anthem Sports Entertainment needs to give Impact Wrestling the unlimited amounts of money to sign these top talent people in order to create more rivalries, better feuds, interesting matches. You got to Impact. I mean, you got to Anthem Sports Entertainment that owns Impact Wrestling. Treat Impact Wrestling like they're not broke because they're not. They're owned by you, Anthem. Y'all can afford to give Impact Wrestling unlimited amounts of money. Y'all gonna get a return profit. Like I said, if y'all decides try to get Sasha Banks, beat AEW to the punch. Stop letting AEW get all these talented people because AEW roster is bloated as it is, and you need top talent. That's all I gotta say. But right now, all the top talent is signed to WWE and AEW, and no telling when their contracts is gonna be up. They may be signing two or 3 year multi deals, but something's gotta give. And people saying Bray Wyatt had talks with Impact and the deal didn't go through. I, if he comes back in the picture, Bray Wyatt comes back in the picture. Braun Strowman. There's a room by him showing up at Bound for Glory last year. Give them unlimited amounts of money, okay? You gave unlimited amounts of money to Impact to sign the Good Brothers Anthem. Do it for Bray Wyatt and Braun Strowman, okay? Because if Braun Strowman decides he wants to come back to wrestling, Impact Wrestling needs to be the first to go to him, offer him a very good deal to land him. Because I guarantee you, the fans will follow him. Trust me. Don't let him go to AEW. Don't let him go back to WWE. Sign him. Braun too. Braun Strowman too. pair them up. I mean, it would be real good. They get paired up with Decay. That would be real good. Or change Decay to some other stable. You know, 'cause you know Rosemary's with the dark side, just like Bray Wyatt is and Braun Strowman. You know, you guys can make it happen. I have faith in y'all. Y'all been around for 20 years. I'm not trying to let y'all end up like RH. Or right now, NWA. I know NWA is the reason why TNA Impact was born, but look at them now. They about to be the next one to sell to somebody. Probably WWE or AEW. Don't let that happen.
Austin probably is a part of that group that have come into Impact and they're sticking around, and it seems like they're in for the long haul. Sammy Callahan, of course, and everything kind of revolves around that core group of about 10 people, and everybody else just kind of comes and goes. You know, you got young people developing on the way up, and then you got other people coming in from the bigger promotions and redeveloping, I would say, and looking for their foothold in the industry.
You just described ECW.
Yeah, yep, 100%. And that was everything that Scott D'Amore and Don Callis said that they wanted to have whenever they took over the company. That's legitimately what they said they wanted it to be like 90s All Japan, where you had your Elite Eight, and then everybody else kind of comes in and out, and they lose to those guys. You know, they'll feud with those guys, they'll end up losing on the way out, and they'll go to the next spot.
Yep.
That's Impact.
And you protect the guy. You protect your pillars. You know,
Yep.
you let the rest of everybody kind of do their thing and move out, and that's fine. You know, we got one out, we got one coming in. So
Yeah, absolutely, and we'll talk about her as we get into the show, and we have a good show to talk about, a newsworthy show, I would say, and capped off by I thought a pretty damn good main event, which is what you get a lot in Impact these days, is pretty damn good main events. But I guess the biggest news coming into the show, it broke last week because of spoilers, of course. But Alan Angels, who recently departed AEW, and we kind of speculated on him last week.
I don't know nothing about nobody named no Allen Angels, but he came from AEW. Must have been one of their homegrown talent or something. But he's not no top talent. This does nothing for Impact Wrestling. Nothing. Um, the guy's, I mean, I guess he's talented in the ring, but he's no major talent. And I guess this is all that they can pick up since all the major talent is locked down to multi-year deals. Oh well, I'll let y'all get through listening to them.
Whenever we had Justin on the show about, hey, Alan Angels was his contract had just expired with AEW. Impact was in Atlanta. Could they bring him in over the weekend? And sure enough, they did bring him in. And I think this is a good move. And he immediately challenges Speedball Mike Bailey for the X Division Open Challenge. It was, you know what? I think I built this match up in my head too much because I knew about it for a week or so, and it did not live up to the hype that I put on it. I placed expectations on this match that they didn't agree to, and they didn't live up to them, unfortunately for them. But I thought it was a good TV match overall. What'd you think?
I echo your sentiments. I'm going to say this. This is a controversial statement. Kenny Omega's probably a little bit better than Speedball, and that's okay. You know,
Yeah.
that's all right. Quite frankly, Alan Angels showed why he needed to leave AEW in this match.
Yeah.
Because he needs to work. Like, he needs to get. I told you we messaged during the show. I said I felt like this wasn't a bad match by any stretch of the imagination.
No.
No, it's not. We're not burying this match. I felt that, especially when compared to the follow-up match, which is again an X Division match, pretty much, that this one was, I'm gonna do this move, and then you're gonna do this move, and then I'm gonna do this move, and you're gonna do this move. And Alan Angels, maybe it's because he's been working under the mask for a while. I felt like he was not showing much emotion, nothing on his face when he was wrestling. He was just going through the motions. And I don't mean that in like he wasn't invested in it. I mean, he wasn't like registering anything. He's 24. He needs to improve. That's why he's doing this, right? And it was fine. But for a guy who's had, 8 match of the year contenders already this year with Speedball. This wasn't one of them, but it was
Yeah.
fine. It was a
Yeah.
fine match. Do you think Alan Angel sticks around Impact?
I do. Gerard sent us something in the chat. I guess they referred to him as an Impact newcomer, and Scott Demore went out of his way to kind of call him that on Twitter as well.
Yeah.
But what I mean by stick around, I don't. He might not sign like an exclusive deal here. I don't think that's probably on the table. But again, it's kind of what we were talking about earlier. What's his independent rate? Okay, this is your rate. Okay, we'll offer you this many dates over the course of 2 years. Can you agree to that? Yep. Okay, we get first rights on your dates, and you can do whatever else you want whenever you're not working those dates. Cool. Sounds good. He can make Impact his base and then tour around all these indies. I already saw on Twitter earlier today him and Vinny Massaro kind of talking it up about going to West Coast Pro Wrestling. So, which is a really good indie in San Francisco. So I
Hot
think
right
that's
now.
a good idea for him. Yeah, very hot. That's a good idea for him right now to do that.
I agree. I think he needs to be with Impact. I think he needs to mentor under Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley specifically, right? Because he's very much in their mold. I see him as a young babyface who could be pretty good, but he needs to learn to be more emotional in his matches, right? And those guys are fantastic at it and always have been, especially Sabin. So I think that he needs to be mentored, right? And in AEW, he wasn't going to get that because Tier Zero deal. He was kind of low in the totem pole. Got a lot of opportunities to work, but not a lot of opportunities to improve, right?
Right.
And quite frankly, you shouldn't be at the biggest stages while you're trying to improve. Like that hamstrings more thing. I think this guy needs to be with Impact. He needs to do stuff with West Coast Pro. He needs to earn himself a spot in PWG because he's not there yet, right? He needs this, quite frankly, because he's got talent, but now he's got to get the emotional game over. And when he gets there, I think he'll be pretty good.
Yeah, same here. Like we were talking about, the match wasn't bad at all. I thought it was a good match. We had a flurry, Speedball went for his flamingo driver. I guess that's his version of the one-winged angel. He went for that and he missed it. And he ended up hitting him with the ultimate weapon. It's the 450 splash knees into the back. That thing looks so deadly. That was brutal looking.
Brutal looking.
Yeah, Angels took all of that, man. But entertaining. Angels, I thought, looked pretty good, and I think, he needs to stick around here. After the match was over, Violent by Design, they attacked him. That was Diener and Doran came in and laid out both guys. And then they called for Josh Alexander to come out, and all of a sudden Eric Young comes out. He's not happy. He thinks they need to do better, and that the world belongs to him. This promo lasted a long time.
This was not good. I didn't like anything about this. I love Eric Young on promos. The first thing when they came out and Diener goes, Josh Alexander, I grabbed my phone. I said, why does no feud anywhere end? Ever. Like, this keeps happening all across, not picking on Impact right now, all across wrestling. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar are going to fight again. Eddie Kingston
and Jericho.
Again. Like, the Young Bucks versus...
Hey, that's what you call overkill. You don't, you can't, these companies, Impact, WWE, AEW, you can't end feuds. You gotta overkill matches. Now, me personally, Brock Lesnar baby win that thing, okay? But I guess whoever wins the title, they're gonna lose it anyway to Austin Theory, and that's gonna start a whole new feud with a new champion. But yeah, get back to what they were talking about. Yeah, having all these same matches with the same people is overkill. That's why Impact Wrestling needs more people. Not indie people, but major talent like they used to be signing back in the day. Because signing unknown talent that ain't major, which I guess Impact better get their pocketbook, get their check ready, Anthem. Whoever come like available and their contract is up with WWE or AEW, sign them. Beat AEW to the punch.
Swerve and Keith Lee and Starks and Hobbs. Like, we just saw this again. I mean, like, why doesn't anything end? Like, especially when we have these big climactic moments. Josh Alexander beat all three of them. Why are we doing this? Why are we treading water? Why are we so creative? It's not just Impact. It's everywhere.
Right.
Why are we so creatively lazy? And that's what it is. It's laziness.
I honestly, when he beat Doring, And we didn't get the big beatdown after the bell with Eric Young and debuting a new member. Like nothing changed with the group, right?
No.
So now they want to get one more crack at Josh. Next week it's going to be the trios match with Josh and the Motor City Machine Guns versus Violet by Design. Violet by Design. Very much looking forward to that match.
Yeah, it's gonna be a great match. Gonna be a great match.
Gonna be great. I hope that's the end of it, and I hope Josh gets to move on to another contender. Problem is, who's that? I don't know who that's going to be. They haven't gotten anybody ready for him, but
They haven't got anybody. That's been okay. I think that AEW and Impact both suffer from the same. I'm having the same issue with both promotions right now. And during AEW last night, I got real distracted during the show because I was texting my buddy John Muse, and we're kind of both in the same spot. Is it's like we both feel like, and again, and I say this with our product sometimes, is that good matches are the band-aid, right? Like we don't have to do the work to tell stories because we just give you good matches. And Dave's talked about this too, is that good matches on TV don't mean what they used to mean because we see them all the time. I thought before we get into it, I thought this was the best pure wrestling show of the week. I thought the matches here in Impact this week were better than AEW's. Like, and I like the two main events in AEW this week, but I thought overall the wrestling was better this week. But I think that nobody is telling compelling stories anywhere.
Yeah.
And it's bothering me. It's bothering me right now.
Right. Well, and they're building contenders using just the typical gimmicks, battle royals, multi-person matches. AEW has a ranking system that
they
doesn't
ignore
mean much. Yeah, they ignore.
They don't do anything with it. Like, and I'm tired of like, well, they have this ranking system, but they throw it out the window for like, okay, AEW did this. They had this battle royal last week. Okay, fine. Why didn't we take 3 weeks to build up Moxley and Brody King to get people interested in something? Right? That company used to just, promote stuff for weeks upon weeks on end before they would happen. Now you just throw things right out there. We get like they're rushing to get things. And an Impact, it's like I feel like, okay, we have this Joe Doring, Eric Young thing, and it's just gonna keep going and keep going. And it's so frustrating. And again, I'm just sick of like, oh well, they had really good matches.
Yeah.
Okay. What I mean, I don't remember. I can't remember the good matches that happened 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
Like on TV, like okay, yeah, Forbidden Door, great show. Against All Odds, great show. It really was. I caught it after I got home, and it was a really good show. But I mean, like, what now? Like on TV, week to week, like you have to get me invested in these things, and I feel like no one is getting me invested in anything right now. Like there's just nothing is being done anywhere.
Yeah, we're kind of in a summer slump here when it comes to storytelling, and that's the problem.
Storytelling.
Matches are good,
Matches are
but
great.
when you let wrestlers wrestle, they'll do it. They will get matches in, but it's up to the company to tell the stories, and it doesn't feel like the stories are being told very well.
That's not the wrestler's job. The wrestlers want to wrestle, and I'm not saying we need a bunch of backstage skits like WWE does or nonsensical. Because I'll get into the nonsensical stuff later. I just want a storyline. I just want a reason to care about this. And again, Eric Young and Josh gave me good reason a couple months ago to care. What now? What's changed? Why should I still be invested in this? Does Josh have to kill them all at the same time? Does he have to do the Roman Reigns thing where he stacks up all the bodies, all three of them, and pin them till we get this over with? Like, give me something else, man.
Yeah. So Young suggested he might purge them both before Diener apologized and begged for another chance for both of them. Young said that he went from here on out, this world belongs to me, and gave them that chance before walking away on his own. Next, we go to Honor No More. They were backstage saying they weren't the problem, but Impact was the problem. Mike Bennett and Kenny King were heard from. Maria said there could be no setback. She was able to get the sentence out without begging Tony Khan for a job, so good job, Maria. You showed restraint there, man. And Eddie Edwards then said PCO has some tough decisions to make. PCO tried to respond before he could talk. Eddie Edwards cut him off and said, we need to see it in the ring. So they really need to get to this PCO turn. They're dragging it out way too long for me.
Man, this I don't know more has completely lost their momentum. Right.
They have. They were it seemed like it's been like, up and down, like, like a month or two ago, I felt like they were on the way up, and then, two big losses like Slammiversary and Against All Odds, two big losses, and now just dragging out the PCO stuff. It's like, okay, it's going down.
Okay, so like when we talk about story, when we talk about story, breaking out story, a character, a group, a something has a goal. Something is standing in their way to prevent them from reaching the goal. This is literally the kind of what a story is. What is Honor No More's story at this point? Like, I don't know what their focus is. I don't know. I mean, like, they're mad
Well,
at
I
Ring
think-
of Honor. So okay, go invade AEW. Like Tony
Right.
bought Ring of Honor. Like it doesn't make sense anymore. The group has to have another focus. Like if you tell me, okay, you know what? Eddie's gonna kill Josh. Okay. Give me something. Like do something. Like what is our focus? Like we had 6 people cut a decent promo. It's decent. Good thing they don't let PCO talk. PCO should never talk. He's a monster. Like
Right.
it's just like it's so stuck in the mud right now.
Yeah,
I'm
no,
done. I'm done.
it is. No, it is. And I think the ultimate end goal is for Eddie to get the championship because that was specifically what he talked about. They just keep delaying it for a while. I thought they were going to do it at Slammiversary, but I guess they're holding off. So who knows when they're going to get that done. But we go to another backstage segment. Deonna Purrazzo with Chelsea Green hyped up tonight's number 1 contender match between Purrazzo and Mia Yim. Gail Kim walked in, congratulated them on their win against all odds, and told Green she'll face Mickie James next week. And everyone barred from ringside from that match and tonight's match as well. So there you go. I actually thought Chelsea was good on this segment. She's entertaining to me.
She's good at character work.
Yeah.
She's really good at
she
character.
really
Like
is.
she's good at the character stuff. Like if this was the 1980s, she's Missy Hyatt.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, she is.
she's really good at that. I don't care for her in-ring work, but boy, personality stuff, she's great.
She is great. Speaking of great in-ring work, I thought this match was tremendous. We had Trey Miguel defeating Laredo Kid. Miguel's coming off a loss against Bailey, so if you want to regain momentum in your career, you got to wrestle a luchador in Impact because you're most likely going to beat the luchadors. So there you go.
I loved this match. Like this is like
Fantastic.
What I was comparing to the Allen Angels match is it felt to me like Trey and specifically Laredo were trying to win. Right, I really
Yes.
think that's a criticism that we hear of wrestling all the time, and I don't always agree with it. But I thought that nice job, Mike. Good cutting. It's hard.
forgot.
Producing's tough, right? It's tough.
It is. We need a third-party producer.
Hey, Jeremy, we need you.
Yeah.
No, I thought this match was really, really good because Laredo Kid is awesome and is without a doubt the most underutilized guy on the roster. And who is the last luchador that Impact has pushed? Is it Penta?
It's Pentagon, yeah. It would be Pentagon.
I don't.
Phoenix was pushed too, but Pentagon actually was pushed to the world title, but he only held it for a taping. And then the Lucha Brothers were the tag champs for a while before they lost to LAX, and then they ended up going to AEW. So
Lucha Brothers rule. Why don't we push some of these guys? Like Laredo Kid's awesome. I don't. Maybe it's his AAA stuff because his AAA is his like number 1 place. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like both him and a guy we'll talk about later could be doing a lot more than they're doing.
yeah, and especially if there's a guy out there, a luchador Bandito, who has actually been name dropping Impact as a place that he would like to go to. I'm like, man, do you actually watch the show? You're gonna lose, brother. Like
We're gonna protect
just
Heath.
lose.
We're gonna protect Heath. He's gonna look like a
Right.
star all over the place. Can't walk, can't work, can't do nothing. But I mean, he's the guy we're gonna push over Laredo Kid. Makes total sense to me.
Yeah, it's such dog shit. This match was insane. I really loved how Trey Miguel was continuing to sell his leg from the speedball match, and that speedball match is incredible. So everybody go out of their way to watch Against All Odds. But great stuff. Both men are. Let's see. Kid nearly got the win off a Michinoku driver as Miguel failed on a springboard due to a leg injury. But Miguel got the win off a Crossroads counter, so he switched to the Crossroads instead of the Meteora because he's selling his leg. Good stuff.
He does that way better than Cody Rhodes, quite frankly.
And it's not even close.
Not even
It's
close.
not even
Like
close.
Cody's been using that thing for over a decade, and Trey busts it out occasionally, and it's so much smoother. Like,
Yeah.
it's hilarious.
And then this is, you know what? Maybe this is another thing we'll talk about on the Patreon. But we have a co-promotion for Ric Flair's last match, as they begin to take a look back at various Flair Impact moments leading into Impact's last match. So presented by Starcast. I'm sorry. That's kind of interesting. Let's not save it for Patreon. Let's talk about it now.
Oh, you want to do it now?
Do you think,
Okay.
Yeah. Do you think Impact's going to bring Flair in the lead up to this Flair's last match?
Who's he wrestling?
Jarrett.
That's
That's the
like,
only thing. It's the only name I can come up with.
Jay
'Cause
Lethal is the other one I can come up with because they've been working together.
I know, but Jay Lethal's got the match with Samoa Joe
I got
on
nothing
pay
else.
per view, and I don't think Tony Khan wants anything to do with this nonsense. I really don't. It's because it's piggybacking off of WrestleMania or SummerSlam, right? He doesn't like to do that, and B, Starcast, the Flair's last match, kind of a shit show. Flair has been canceled essentially because of all those allegations, and all that
Has
he
he been
might.
canceled?
Well, he'd been canceled in the mainstream, but the wrestling fans, the hardcore wrestling fans, don't care.
No.
These are the same people that cheer Vince McMahon the day he gets all those allegations made against him.
Good
for
point.
That's crazy.
for the most part, wrestling fans do not care about this stuff. So,
Damn right we
I,
don't,
I,
yeah.
I don't think that if Impact brought him in, there would be there. You might get David Bixenspan complaining about it on Twitter, but that's going to be about it.
Yeah, that's you're right. That's what's going to happen. No, I don't think they'll bring him in because I don't think the taping schedule will work with it. I don't think.
Louisville's next week, and Starcast is like 2 weeks later. So I think they could do it.
All right, I guess it's possible, but I don't. I would be surprised because I don't know. I don't know. I would be surprised if they do it, and I don't think. I think Conrad probably thinks he can do a better job advertising with his own stuff than working with Impact. I think that's the only reason they wouldn't. I don't foresee Conrad wanting to work specifically with Impact. It seems like he's trying to keep neutral, right?
Right.
And it's possible he bought some, like he might have given them some money to do some promotion for them. But I would be surprised if Ric Flair actually showed up on the show.
Okay. I don't disagree with you, but it just kind of seemed odd to me that Impact is going above and beyond to promote this show, and they have a taping coming up leading into Starcast. Seems like that'd be a perfect time to shoot an angle for Starcast.
I appreciated them reminding us of when Ric Flair came in and ruined AJ Styles. Right.
Thanks, guys.
Started the worst streak of Impact television ever. The Hulk Hogan, Eric Bischoff era. Thanks for reminding me about that.
Yeah. Next, Diener and Bring were rampaging backstage looking for Alexander. They ran into Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley. Sabin, line of the century, called them. What are you doing? Are you box kickers? I don't know why that cracked me up so much, calling them a box kicker.
What is a box kicker?
Well, that's what Diener and Doring were kicking boxes backstage. So Sabin goes, "What are you guys doing, box kickers?"
I didn't even make that
What are you
connection.
box kickers doing? I don't know why that stood out to me. It was so funny.
I was just like, what does that mean? I didn't even think about that. That's literally what they were doing in the moment.
Yeah. Alexander showed up. A big brawl ensued, and next week we got the trios match. And then we get a vignette for the returning, who we thought 2 years ago was going to return, but it looks like she's returning now. Killer Kelly coming back to Impact, and she had a really interesting vignette here, kind of a Psycho style, like in the motel, and then she hit some lines from Fight Club there at one point. There was also a dead possum on the sidewalk.
I hated this girl so much. I like that Killer Kelly's coming back. I really do. I forgot that she had a Journey album tattooed on her back. That's cool. The dead possum, I was like, cool. There's a dead possum there. And then she was in she's in the bathroom, right? But the toilet is in the foreground. So I thought, is she going to take a shit? Like, that's honestly the first thought that went through my head. No, she goes into the shower, which makes much more sense. But, I don't know. I did not I like Killer Kelly. I think she's going to do great here.
Yeah.
Again, one leaves, one comes in. That's an upgrade.
That's how it happens.
I did not at all like the video, but she's going to do great here.
Yeah. She warmed my heart when she said, "It is only after you've lost everything that you're free to do anything." That is a line from Fight Club, and it's my favorite line from that movie. So I always enjoyed that movie and that line. So there you go. But yeah, Killer Kelly coming in. Excited for that. So next we got James Storm and Chris Harris backstage with Mean Gene Miller, who turned her mic off. I don't know why she did that, but they were talking directly into the camera.
I don't blame Gia on this one, right?
No.
Let's do a little production right here. This is on the cameraman or the sound guy. It's one or the other. They have people whose job it is to make sure that stuff is good, right? Gia's job is to hold the microphone and look nice. That's her job, right?
Yeah.
The guy, because the sound guy's got what we got on right now. Sound guy's got headphones on. He could say, hey, this doesn't sound right, because any sound guy worth half his shit is going to figure that out in about 2 seconds. Now, here's another thing, too. They don't go back and look at this stuff, right? You don't go back. Why can't we ever do take 2 on anything?
Yeah, it's like, how did they not know that the mic wasn't connected? Because like immediately when we started this podcast, the first thing you said to me is like, "Hey, Mike, your mic's not connected." So I went in and I hit the settings button, and boom, there it
That's
is. Make sure
all
my
it
mic.
is. That's all it
Yeah,
is. On most cameras, it's a switch. You just
yeah,
flip the switch. Like stuff like that drives me crazy. It's like we want to we have this great roster, right? We normally have really good video production. Like I said, I'll put our
hmm
video packs up against anybody, but we're
Kevin Martin.
sloppy. We're
Yeah,
sloppy, and that just that can be fixed, right? But it just you got to show some effort, and that's all that is effort. Hey man, that didn't work. Let's do take two,
yeah.
just to have it. Like bugs me.
Yeah, yeah, bugs me too. But yeah, they interviewed James Harris or James Storm and Chris Harris. Sorry, they're backstage, talked about their match against all odds. Harris indicated it might be their last ride, while Storm said he had some unfinished business. The camera followed him, and he ventured into Steve Macklin's locker room looking for Moose. Macklin thought last Friday was his retirement match, while Storm said he was in his prime. He sure as hell is, by the way. Challenging him for a match next week. So next week we get Steve Macklin and James Storm, and probably what is most likely James Storm's a swan song with his current run here in Impact. But yeah, looking forward to that match. And we're still trying to figure out why Macklin interfered on behalf of Moose. We still don't know. They didn't really
I'm
explain that yet. So
I'm I'm okay with this, right? I feel like this is going somewhere.
yes,
I I'm curious to see what happens next week. I'm not I don't know if it's a lock that Macklin wins, right? Because if the Cowboy is going to stick around a little bit, I bet he wins, but we don't know that for sure.
yeah. And next, oh, here, let me hit the handy dandy.
Oh, yeah,
Next
you go.
match, yeah, there we go. For our folks on YouTube, is PCO versus Taurus. Again, PCO lost last week, so what do? You wrestle a luchador, and you get your momentum back. He wrestled Black Taurus with Crazy Steve, and he was trying to prove to Honor No More that he is worthy. And they had a really good match. Taurus got back into it with a pair of sling blades. He did a reverse sling blade that I thought was pretty cool, by the way. Followed by an elbow drop. He was selling an injured arm and couldn't immediately get the pin, though. He missed a twisting moonsault, and PCO took advantage, hitting a reverse DDT and a slightly awkward PCO salt for the pin and the win, where he basically threw both knees right into Taurus' stomach. But yeah, that looked brutal, and he got the victory. On No More came out to congratulate him. They were intimidating Crazy Steve, and then Heath, the protected Heath, ran out from the crowd and hit a move on Kenny King there and ran out. So, and with fans chanting Heath, Heath, Heath in the audience.
Dave called Black Taurus one of the best bases, possibly the best base in wrestling, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what Black Taurus does in AAA. Is he bases for all these amazing luchadors. Um, I don't understand why Heath is so protected and Black Taurus just does jobs to everybody. I don't get it.
Heath is famous. I think that's the only thing
They
I can think.
push him. They push
Yeah.
him. That's the thing. Is if you treated Heath like WWE treated Heath, he wouldn't be he would get the he's got kids stuff that
Yeah.
we would laugh about it. Black Taurus is significantly better than Heath. Laredo Kid is significantly better than Heath, but this guy gets to dance in the main event scene, and I don't know why. He's never been good. He's not a great
No.
promo. He's not good in the ring. I don't get it.
And he's out of shape. So,
Yes.
yeah, I don't know
Okay.
what's going on there. He's got naked pictures of somebody. Um, but next we go to the Good Brothers, Chris Bay and Ace Austin, all backstage. First time all of them together on the same screen as Bullet Club. So, and that was interesting. For some reason, even though the Good Brothers got the victory over Honor No More, they still want to fight Honor No More again. So we're going to do the same variation of the same match with just a couple of different people. Same. Doing that next week. So there you go.
Like they said before, and like I said, overkill. Impact Wrestling is doing these same matches like the other companies like WWE and AEW because, well, I could have expected some Impact Wrestling because ain't that much people they could sign that's like top talent, but WWE and AEW got a lot of talent on their rosters, but they have the same matches with the same people, and half the rosters in their companies is in catering or doing dark matches or other shows or whatever. But still, you know, same matches. That's just overkill. Cut that out, Impact. Anthem Sports Entertainment. If somebody come available, in WWE or AEW as a top talent, give Impact Wrestling unlimited amounts of money to sign them to a good deal that they cannot refuse, that they won't refuse.
8-man
It's very,
tag.
it's a very New Japan Corkin match. 8 man tag. You know,
Yeah,
two
yeah. No, that's
factions.
yep, very much so. Digital media champion Brian Myers was walking backstage, came upon Johnny Swinger and Zicky Dice. They exchanged words before he encountered Bhupinder Gujar, who wanted the title. The frustrated Myers suggested Gujar take on Swinger next week, with the winner getting a shot at the title. So there you go. That
I
was
left.
that.
I left.
Yeah, Swinger always makes me laugh. Next, we got, you know what? We got Rich Swann defeating Mahabali Shera. I'm going to say something complimentary about Shera. This was a good TV match.
I agree.
Yeah, I thought this. Okay, possibly because it's mainly Rich Swann,
Yeah, Rich Swann
but
carried it.
I thought Shera did an effective job as the monster heel,
Mhm.
beating down Rich Swann, who always does a good Ricky Morton, the underneath babyface, selling. Came back, hit a ton of moves, and then got the victory. And he beat Shera while making Shera still look like a monster. This is great pro wrestling.
If this was 1989, Cher would have a nice spot in the WWF roster, right?
Oh yeah,
He's big, and in the 80s,
oh
he'd have been bigger.
oh yeah,
Let's
oh
be
in
honest.
the '80s, if it was early '90s WWE, he would have been wrestling Hulk Hogan as a representative of Baghdad, Iraq. You know, one of Saddam
Oh God,
Hussein's
you're right.
monsters. You know they would have.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%. He would have been in the
absolutely.
Triangle of Terror. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shearer. That's another guy that they do more with than Black Taurus or Laredo Kid. Like I don't.
Yeah.
It's astounding.
Yeah.
But yeah, Rich carried him to a really good match for Mahabali Shera, Ohio Valley's pride. Mahabali Shera.
Well, used to. He lost to James Storm tonight on OVW TV. So
Oh, thanks for the spoiler. Not like I was
sorry.
gonna watch
Oh
it anymore.
yeah, I was like, wait a minute, you're not gonna fucking watch OVW.
No, I'm not gonna watch OVW. I was doing a bit. Come on, man.
Sorry. And the influences Tennille Dashwood and Madison Rain weren't happy. What do you think about Madison Rain's mask here, JD?
You
What's,
set I set you up with this because I texted Mike during the show. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but Madison Rain looks absolutely stunning in this mask. I can't.
yeah.
I don't know what it is. I don't know what that says about me. Perhaps I'm a sociopath, but I think she
you
looks fantastic in that mask. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it's a nice mask. What do you say? I don't know. but they weren't happy with Giselle Shaw about her effort last Friday against All Odds. And apparently, Masha Slamovich making a death threat on Tennille is Giselle's fault somehow. So there you go.
Hey, we're booking something.
and-
We're doing something. I appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. And then next we got Taya Valkyrie trying to calm down and upset Rosemary about Against All Odds. Rosemary felt like they were outnumbered and said they had to go to the Undead Realm for help. They need to go find Havoc in the Undead Realm. This was great television, great acting, great. I'm just kidding. This sucked. Yeah. So I guess we're going back to the Undead Realm next week. JD, you're off the show next week, so I got to deal with this myself.
I appreciate that greatly. I thought we were going tonight. I was getting pissed off. It's like next week, the Undead Realm. And I'm like, hot damn, I'll be in a car. I'm going
Yeah.
to miss this. Dude, I spent Saturday night and Sunday night watching 4 hours of Stranger Things. And it
Oh
was
my gosh.
fucking fantastic. It was awesome.
Yes.
I loved it
Eddie
so
Munson.
much. Eddie Munson, oh my
Yeah.
God, when he's up there thrashing the Master of Puppets with those bats
Oh
coming,
my gosh.
what a scene, right? So, supernatural stuff can be done great. But if you can't do Stranger Things, why are you doing this? Like, especially in this era where there's such good stuff of this, where I can scratch that itch of like this awesome supernatural thing. Like, every episode of Stranger Things this season was a movie. We had 9
Yeah.
Stranger Things movies. And you're going to give me the Undead Realm with bad acting? I don't get it. Who wants this? The 6 people that chant for Rosemary every week? Like, this is
I guess.
just stupid. And it
They're
detracts
placating somebody.
but I mean, like, it detracts people from watching Impact, right? When I
Yeah,
tell
no, it
people
does.
Impact's a good show, it's a good show, and they go, dude, look, and they point to this stuff, and I got to sit there and go, oh, it happens. Like, I point back to when Kenny Omega first showed up, and they gave us Wrestle House, which is just an offshoot of the Undead Realm. Like, this is the stuff that hurts Impact. Sorry, Lance.
Yeah, well, Lance, he has nothing to do with creative. He just produces the matches. So
And complains about other people doing the same things that his show does.
Yeah, it's the old less than Jake line. Everyone here hates everyone here for doing the exact same that they do. So there you go.
You have never listened to a
Um,
single Less Than Jake song, and I do like that line that you just said.
brother man, I'm gonna send you a track.
Send me
I'm,
stuff because
a-
I've never, I
oh,
I know of them, but I've never listened to them.
oh, one of my favorite bands of my 20s, sir. Great,
Well,
great band.
please
Yeah.
send my way.
Yep. We go to the main event. I thought this main event was awesome. At one point, they were doing an impression of Samoa Joe versus Kenta Kobashi, which I was like, if you're gonna steal from
Still for
that
the
match,
best.
go ahead, steal from that match, because a lot of people don't even remember that match, but I do. God damn it. Um, but one of the better women's matches I've seen in a long time. I think that it could be right up there with any and it was only for a TV match, so that kind of hinders it a little bit, but no titles on the line. Number one contender match between Peraza and Mia Yim. I thought this match fucking ruled. What'd you think?
I'd love to retire the phrase "number one contender" because I'm just sick of hearing it across all of wrestling. I hate it. Uh, this was awesome. I had an epiphany midway through the match. Deonna Purrazzo is my favorite women's wrestler, and it's not even close.
Oh,
It's not
nice.
even close. Like she tries every. The most credit this is Alan Angels for. Everything Deonna does, she's trying to win, right? Like everything
Yeah.
looks like a struggle. Everything looks like it's a fight. Like and she has great facial expressions. They did the Ric Flair Sting spot where Sting would throw Flair off the top rope. Like I haven't seen that. I can't remember last time I saw that spot. It was awesome. Like I just I love her work every single week, and for the life of me, I cannot figure out how WWE could not make her like a great heel in that company. Right? She's fantastic. She's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, she is. I'm really shocked that she didn't stick on there with WWE. You'd think that she's everything that they like, but maybe it was more of a you
She never.
you never know what's going on with somebody. Maybe she just didn't get along with certain people there. But I'm like, but
I
talent wise, you know.
I think that's got to be a personality thing because like she's good. Like she never even got a
Yeah.
chance. They never put her on TV. Like I don't get it. Like I really don't. Like she's again. This hit me during the show because again, like when the AEW women's matches happen, like no, guys know me. Like it's okay. I tend not to. I don't hate women's wrestling or anything like that. I just I don't pay attention as much. I tend to tweet a little bit more. This match
Yeah.
had me from the bell. Like she's awesome and well worth the main event spot. I'm actually a little bummed that it's not going to be her and Jordan in Chicago. Like me and Yem's fine. It's good. Fresh matchup. I'm good with it. I just really like Deanna.
Yeah, it seems like since she lost the title and then she lost that rematch to Mickey, she's just been kind of like doing like she had that Ring of Honor title and then she went and lost it, and she had the AAA title, she lost that. So it seems like the last couple of months she's been kind of floundering a little bit, not doing much. But she's picking up with this Chelsea Green story. I was hoping that her and Chelsea would challenge Taya and Rosemary and kind of get away from the undead stuff, but it looks like that's going to continue. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what the future holds for Deonna Purrazzo, but she's amazing. She's fantastic. And
Fantastic.
yeah, had what an incredible 2-year run she's had here in Impact. It was
Hmm.
exactly 2 years ago. I think this week when she was announced for Slammiversary in 2020.
She is someone that you talk about gambling on themselves, right? Because she had a bit of a name in the Indies before. Like, people like, oh yeah, Deanna Purrazzo, she's pretty good. And then when she signed with WWE, people like, oh, that makes sense. Especially when they were bulking up the black and gold NXT. Since leaving WWE, she's been one of the best wrestlers on the Indies,
Oh yeah,
regardless of gender. Like, she's fantastic. Like, I can't think of. Again, I had this epiphany night. Like, I don't think there's been a time on this show that I haven't enjoyed watching Deanna Purrazzo wrestle. Like,
no, probably one of the most consistently good performers on the show. And
yeah,
I'm not going to bring up gender, just
no,
in general,
in
just
general,
consistently good. Yeah.
constantly, everybody. She has good matches with everybody. Like she has good matches with people who aren't very good, right? She has great matches with people that are very good. Like she's awesome.
Yeah. Yep. She's awesome. This match was awesome. I
Yeah,
think it capped off a pretty good show. Made it basically a thumbs up show. I would say the only, this match and the Trey Miguel Laredo Kid match would be well worth people going out of the way to see. Trey Miguel's on a hell of a run too, by the way. His speedball last week was incredible, and speedball wasn't the only guy in that match. Trey Miguel was very much a part of that and did a great job in it, and it carried over this week with his match with Laredo Kid. So
yeah,
good stuff from Impact this week.
for sure. As far as wrestling goes, I think it was the show of the week. Like the wrestling on this show was really good this week, to the point where my least favorite match was the Speedball Allen Angels match, and it wasn't bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was
I'm gonna cut them off because they're almost about to wrap this podcast up. But I want to make sure y'all subscribe to the Fight Game Media because these guys know what they're talking about. And also subscribe to my channel. Hit the notification bell. You know, I'm a YouTube gamer mostly. I just doing something a little bit different. So, yeah.
just on that particular show not great. Now, what I did have an issue with is I don't think the booking's very good right now. Like I think it's lazy.
The wrestling, the matches are basically outweighing the booking. You know,
and I'm going to level that exact same criticism at AEW. I think the booking right now is lazy, and I think we are trying to be the alternative. We, as in everything outside of WWE, is trying to land. Well, we're the show that gives you good wrestling, and right now WWE is actually doing a pretty good job giving people good wrestling, but their storytelling is what it's always going to be, and Vince McMahon's going to have a fat guy throw up on people because that's what he thinks is fun, right? So
and then lose half the audience.
And lose half the audience. 400,000 people turned away, but there were people that tell you, nah, it was the holiday.
Yeah.
People that had already committed to watching the show turned it off.
Yeah.
But that has nothing to do with anything. Their storytelling is the bee's knees, man. That's like you can't beat WWE. That's what I'm saying. Like you can't just rely on. This is what you're competing with. Like you can't just rely on good wrestling to carry you over. Tell some stories, man. And Impact, we shape it. Like they do bulk tapings. You can do a better job of this. You can shape your own narrative. AEW is kind of beholden to sometimes you get a bad crowd or sometimes, stuff doesn't work. The crowd doesn't react well. We can shape that. We can protect it. And we don't do a good enough job of it. And it's been my biggest problem with this promotion this year. I love the wrestling. I absolutely love the wrestling. I just think that the production can be better.
Yes, I agree. Well, hey, everybody, if you're listening to us on the free feed or on YouTube, go ahead and check us out over on patreon.com/fightgamemedia. We're about to go in on some more news. We're going to talk a little bit of Briscoes. We're going to talk, there's some Kushida news out there, Impact-related Kushida news. Also, wrestling entertainment.
So far, I had nothing really to respond except mostly at the beginning. But what they were saying was good. I mean, Impact did a good show, but they need to entertain their fans to bring in more fans to the program, the shows. You know, you don't have to be like WWE doing, like somebody threw up on somebody, but at least start telling more stories instead of just having good matches. So yeah.
Series, they got some big stuff going on. Not.
Do they?
That's why I threw in the not. And then MLW, we're gonna do some MLW talk. So
Until then, everybody,
until next week,
peace.
free feed. We'll talk to you later.